Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be going over how to make a basic platformer in Godot. Be warned, this video is kind of long, but it goes over a lot of important stuff. We're going to open up Godot, go on new, and we can just name this platformer. We're going to create a folder for this, and then we're going to press create and edit. Now, as soon as we load in, over here is our root in our node tree. This is where everything in Godot is going to be built in, and you'll see what I mean as soon as we start building our character in a minute. But first, we're going to come down here to our folders, and we're going to create some folders real quick. So first off, we're going to do scripts. That's going to hold all of our code. We're going to do scenes. That's, oh wow, I cannot spell. Sorry about that. And next we're going to do assets. And next we're going to do our art. Alright, now that we have our folders, we're going to open our art folder. So I'm going to put open in file manager. That's literally just going to open our file manager for this folder. And then we're going to open our downloads. And we're going to import our art here. Now, for this to work, we're going to have to extract it. There we go. Now that's in there. All of our art is going to be here. I have the link down below in the description, so you guys can download this art off of itch.io. It is free. And this is actually a very good sprite sheet and pack. It's very advanced. There's a lot to it. So I could potentially make more tutorials later on using this pack, just adding more. But today we're going to go pretty basic. So first off, we're going to start with our player. So we're going to go to add scene, and we're going to type in character body 2D. This node is used for making characters and players. It has a lot of built-in physics into it and interacts well with collision shapes and everything like that. So speaking of which, we're going to add a collision shape 2D. This is going to allow our character to collide with stuff. And then we need to give our character some graphics. So we're going to go to animated sprite 2D and add that. Make sure both these are a child of the character body 2D and not each other. So first off, we're going to go to here, to our animated sprite. Come to this side, animation and sprite frames. You're going to click on new sprite frames. Click on this one more time to open up this area down here, this menu. And we're going to click right here. This is going to allow us to select our sprite frame. So we go to our art folder. And it's going to be here. I'm not sure. Yes, okay. Perfect. So first, what we're going to want to do is we need our idle, which is going to be this one, and we're going to open it. Zoom in a bit. So we need to first get this lined up. Vertical is going to be 1, and then horizontal is 4. So this separates them. So we're going to select these in order. This is the order that these frames will play. And now we can zoom in and play. Now as you can see, it's very blurry, and it's a really easy fix. We're going to go to project settings, come down here to under rendering to textures, and then select nearest instead of linear. There we go. Now it's going to be looking smooth and nice. So now we can come to our collision shape 2D, and under shape we're going to click, I think we're going to do a capsule. So we're going to try and, oh crap, that was my fault. You want to resize this, make it a bit smaller than your character. Now it is actually like really hard to see, so what we're going to do, come down to ordering and z-index. We're going to change that. Why is it moving this? Hold up. Alright. I'm going to do this. Bring it down just a bit. So why? Okay. If it's ever doing that, you can just click up here to the move tool. So it lets you move whatever you are currently selected, which is the collision shape. Alright. So this is pretty much going to be our player for now. We can just add in some more animations. First off, let's rename this one to idle. We have a few more we need to add in. This is going to be our run animation. And we're going to come here. Alright, that's weird. This is going to be your run animation. It's not loading it for me. So I'm just going to have to pull it off of this sprite sheet here. So just give me a second to count this out. Alright. It looks like the dimensions here are going to be 15 by 8. So this is a 6-frame running animation. Here it is. So as you see, it looks really slow right now. So a quick way to just change that is our frames per second here. You can change this to whatever you want. So if we speed it up to 10, I honestly think that looks good. So it's gonna make it run faster. That's how many frames play per second. Under idle, really quickly, yeah, you can do the same thing. I feel this looks kind of slow. Bump it up to like a 7, you know? It's really all based on preference. You don't have to do it my way. We're going to create one more new animation. And actually, no, a few more, sorry. We're going to create our death animation. I'm going to come here. And we're going to find our death animation, which is going to be right here, your defeat. So this is going to be 1/8. I'm going to just click and drag down, and this is going to be our death animation. So again, that is really slow. We actually want this to play exactly once per second, and you'll see why later when we script it. So we have 8 frames, we're going to do 8 frames per second. So now, it's a bit faster, and you'll see why I want it as just 1 second later on when we do code our death animation and code dying into the game. Alright, so now we're going to do, I think, our last animation, which is just going to be our jump animation. So we're going to come up here. Oh, sorry, nope, wrong one. I think it was this one. It is not this one. Nope. Sorry, this one. My fault. Jump up. 1/3. We're going to add these frames. Speed it up, probably like 6 frames per second. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so now we have all of our characters' animations. So we can now get into our first script. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rename our character to player. And then we're going to press Control S, which is going to save the scene. So we're going to put this, right now it's asking where we want to put this scene. So we're going to click on our scenes folder, and we're going to press save. So now if we go down to our scenes down here, it's here. So we can close our art folder, keep everything nice and organized. Alright, so to create a script, we're going to click on our character, body 2D, and then right here, it says here, attach a new script. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to want to add some code. So this is its path. It wants to put it in scenes. We're going to put it in our scripts folder. And then under template, Godot actually has a built-in script for our character body 2D's movement. So we're going to select that. Alright, we're going to press create. And here we are. Now, at first glance, if you've never done scripting before, this looks a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to go over everything that's in here first. Alright, first off, extends character body 2D. This is just a reference to our character body 2D. Everything here has to be compatible with our character body 2D. So we have our constants, which is our speed and our jump. So these can be changed whenever we want to directly affect our character's running speed and jumping speed in-game. So we'll test that out in a minute, but first let's finish this. So gravity. So first off, this var means variable. Oh, sorry about that. It's, as you see, it turns red if something is messed up. What did I do? Did I do something? Yeah, sorry. All right. So variable, this is defining something. So gravity equals project setting dot get setting, and then this is just Godot's built-in gravity that they have. So it goes into the project settings, grabs the setting, and grabs this setting and puts it into our script, attaching it to our character. Physics process delta, so function, physics process delta. So this is our physics in the game, and this updates like 100 times a second. So this is basically just everything that has to do with physics. Right here you see it's detecting if not is on floor. This is your velocity and your gravity. So if we're not on the floor, it's putting our gravity, meaning we come back down to the floor when we jump. This is our inputs right here. So if input UI accept and is on floor. So this is built in. This is going to be your space bar. We will be changing this actually. And this is just your jump velocity. As you see, velocity equals our previously defined jump velocity. And then down here, our direction and our input left and right, those are going to be our arrow keys right now. Then we have another if statement. So if direction, and then our velocity times speed, and then else, it's showing move forward, and showing like what we're moving forward by. The variables are x. And then right here, you'll see move and slide. So this is going to be pretty much in any movement script you ever do. You're going to add move and slide at the end. That's just adding basic physics to your character for movement and sliding, as it says. All right. So this is not fully complete, but it does work. So to test it out as it is, make sure to save. we're going to create a new scene up at the top. Click on 2D to come back here. And we're going to just add a 2D scene. And we're going to name this game. This is our game. Alright? And what we're going to do here is we're going to add a... Hold up. Where is it? What we're going to do here is we are going to add a collision shape, just really quickly. And we're going to take this collision shape, and we're going to change its shape to a rectangle, and we're just going to make this larger. Now, to get our player in, there's two ways we can do it. We can either go down to our scenes and drag our player in, or we can instance it right here. And we can just click on our player scene and open, and it brings it right in. Now we're going to make this child of our game, and this is our player right now. Move them up here. So now we're going to save this scene. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to press play. And it wants us to select our main scene. Now this is our game scene. This is going to be our main scene. So we're going to put select current. And now it's going to let us play. And our character went straight through. Interesting. Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. I did mess up something, but I figured it out. We're good. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to add a static body 2D, same thing here, and then we're going to make that collision shape a child of the static body 2D. So we're going to set our shape to new world boundary shape. So essentially, this, wherever we place it, this is going to extend infinitely out in these directions. Okay, so we can pretty much go infinitely in any direction right now. So to actually be able to see, because technically when we start the scene, it's going to be showing us from this area in this blue box, and as you see, we're above it. Easy fix, we're going to come up here, we're going to add a camera 2D. So we're going to take this camera 2D, it's extremely large. We're going to make this a thing of our player, actually of our game. Where's our camera? We're going to come over here and we're going to go to zoom. And we're just going to zoom it in, just quickly, just so we can see what's going on. Now we're going to press play. And here's our player. Now, as you see, we can move around, we can jump. Now, our character's really fast right now, so we're going to change that right now. We're going to come over here, we're going to do script, and we're going to change our speed to, I think we're going to go 200 for now, and our jump velocity to 300. Alright, now we're going to go back and play our game scene, and this seems a lot better. Alright, that's good. Now that we've done that, we're going to get into finishing our character script here. So first thing that we need is we need to make all those animations we made earlier. We need to put those to use. So what we're going to do for that, guys, I just had to, I had like a huge brain fart right there. So what we're going to do here is right under this, we're going to put if direction is greater than 0, and then we're going to put a colon, and you're going to press enter. If direction is greater than 0, what we're going to do is we need to reference our animated sprite. We need to take this and we need to tell it to do something. So the way to reference that, there's multiple ways. The way we're going to do this now is we're going to press $, and then animated sprite 2D. So this is just essentially grabbing it from this specific scene. Alright, so I'll show you the other way to do it later on in a different script, but this is the way we're going to do it for this one. So animated sprite dot 2D is we're going to put dot flip underscore h is going to equal false. So this is actually direction. So what we're doing right now is we're saying it's going to flip our character depending on what direction we're moving in, so our character actually faces said direction. Now I'm going to put else if direction is less than 0, our animated sprite 2D dot flip h is going to equal true. Sorry about that. It's going to equal true. So this is essentially just flipping our character to face whatever direction we need to face. Now we're going to come down. We're going to come if is on floor, or if is not on floor. No, sorry about that. We're not going to do anything with this is not on floor. we're gonna do we have, okay, no, sorry. I was just making sure that we didn't come with that. So we're gonna come in here, and we're gonna add another if function. If is on floor, and then we're gonna add this. So if is on floor, and then if direction equals 0, our animated sprite is going to play our, now here's where we add in what animation we're going to play. So if our direction equals 0, we're going to play our idle animation. Nice. So now we come in here, we go back one, and we go else. So if our direction is not 0, else colon, our animated sprite 2D is going to play our run animation. And then one more time, if this is not true, so we're gonna come down. So basically, right now we went back 2 spaces. We're back to referencing this. So else, as in if we're not on the floor, our character is going to play its jump animation. Perfect. All right. So this is our animations here, and I'm pretty sure that's all we're gonna need for these. The death animation we're gonna add in later on. After we make our kill zone area, I'll show you. We're going to reference our death animation. So for now, we're going to save this, and we're going to test out if this works. So as you see, our character plays its idle normally. It plays its run animation when we're moving, and it does flip directions. And it also plays our jump animation. So our character's looking pretty good right now. We really don't have much more to do with the character. Like I said, it's pretty much just death animation stuff. And then I actually think that's all we have left to do for our character. But I told you, like I said, we're going to come back to that in a bit. Right now we're going to head back to our game scene, to our 2D, and we're going to get rid of this static body 2D and this closing shape. We don't need that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to add a node called a tile set. Oh, I'm sorry, tile map. That's my fault. I'm thinking of tile set, which we'll see in a minute. All right. So we're going to add a tile map. So this is how we make our world. So we're going to go to tile set over here under the inspector, and we're going to click new tile set. Now, how we are going to make this, we're going to come down here, and we're going to click on tile set, as I was talking about earlier. And this box here is where we're going to drag in our tile set. So we're going to come down to art, and we're going to go to tiles and background. Now, we're going to need, we're going to drag in this background. We're going to click yes to this, and then tile set PNG. We're going to use that too. Perfect. Alright, so this is pretty much naturally going to look through and divide it up into boxes as it sees fit. So that's what it did. And this is just our tile set. Where to paint the tiles on, we go to our tile map, and they're all here. Now, first what we're going to do is we're going to do some layering. So we want to have multiple layers. So we're going to come into layers here, and we're going to name this one background. Okay, background. We're going to come down underneath the layers, and we're going to put add element. This means we're adding a new layer. Now we're going to name this one background 2. We're going to have 2 backgrounds. Background 2. And then we're going to add one more element, and this is going to be our foreground. So now if we come here to our layers, it's going to show all of our layers. So we can switch in between them. Alright, so we're going to start out with our background. We're going to come here, and we want to paint this whole thing on for our background. So we're going to, oh, sorry, make sure you're on the select tool. We're going to take this, we're literally just going to paint it on a couple times. You know, I think that's good. You can do this however you want. You don't even have to, you can use the other backgrounds, figure a way to make this taller. This is all on you. I'm just showing you how I'm going to do it. And I am doing this pretty simple for the sake of the tutorial. Now, first off, our player, we need to go to our player. Ordering z-index, we're going to bump the player's z-index up to like a 2. We want our player to be displayed in front of everything else. So I'm not 100% sure why it's doing this right now. It should be fine though, I think. There we are. Alright, we have to change our tile maps to the index. Alright, there we go. For our layers. So now we're going to come, and that's just basically our background for now. So now we're going to come over here, and we're going to do our foreground. And we're just going to start essentially painting on these tiles. So as you see, you literally just fucking draw on how you want them to look. You have these corner tiles down here, so we would place something like this, and then this to make a smooth transition. Here we have platforms, so you can place platforms however you would like. This is to fill it in, so if we were to do something like this, it's the inside area. So this is essentially how you're going to make your tile map, how you're going to make your world. This is exactly how you make and build your world. Really quickly before you go into building your world as you want, we're going to come over to our tile set, and we're going to click Paint. Select a property editor. We need a physics layer. We don't have one right now, so I'm going to come up here under our tile map, and we're going to click Physics Layers. And we're going to press Add Element. So this just added a physics layer. So now we select a property, Physics Layer 0. So this is essentially putting a collision shape on parts of our tile map. So we want our player to collide with any of this, and our moving platforms. So anything that you want your player to have a collision with, you are going to paint this on. Now it is editable. So if you have like a tile that's like half and you only want it to collide with part of it, you can move it. And all you would do is you just click it on to whatever tiles you want that collision shape to go onto. Alright, so now that you have this, I can just show you our character interacting with it. Our camera needs to be fixed, which is fine. We'll do that in a second. But yeah, that's going to be your tile set. So quickly, just for the camera, we're going to attach the camera to our player. And we're going to center it to our player. So that just essentially makes our player, the camera's going to follow our player wherever they go. So yeah, alright. So now I'm just going to go into a time lapse of me designing a simple world. You guys can take this time to do the same, and I'll see you when I'm done. So I just finished making a basic layout for my game. So it's pretty simple. I didn't put much into it. Just some platforms to jump around in, some areas where we'll be putting spikes, like in here, later on, that will kill you. There's spots, we'll probably have enemies running around up here. Platforms, so you can jump around them, grab coins from up top. We're going to have to fix the camera, obviously, because it's showing parts that are not our tile map. So how we're going to do that is not hard. What we're going to have to do is we need to put a limit on our camera. So we don't want the camera to go a certain distance. But first we're gonna come back to our tile map, and we're just gonna add a layer around. Oops, that's not good. We're just gonna add a layer around, okay? Just added a simple layer. Now we can extend the limit of our camera. So to do that, we're going to, I think we can do it like this. We can take this tool here, and we need to find out what points this is. So we're going to do our, as you see here in our camera, we're going to go to limit, and it shows the limit of how far our camera is going to go. So we don't want our camera to show past probably this point, but we're going to do like here. So negative 164 is going to be our top. For me, you guys put whatever yours is. Mine is 164. Again, you just click this tool, and then you hold down, and it shows you the exact points. So our bottom, probably about here, is going to be 7. So 7. Our left is going to be, over here we want to look at the X, it's going to be negative 84. So we got negative 84. And then we're going to come all the way over here. And our right is going to be 884. Alright, now our camera should not, hopefully, go short past those points. And it is. Okay. Well, we know the top's working at least. As you see, it's not going there. The left is working. And that one's not working for some reason. Oh, well, our right never got inputted. That would be it. Oh, and our bottom got inputted wrong. Our bottom is 7. That's really weird. I don't know why that happened. This is 884. Alright. Still a mistake. I just inputted numbers wrong. And look at that. Perfect. Alright. Now we have our simple platformer. Again, if you don't like how the camera jiggles like that, you can always change the limit to make it so yours will not move like that. It doesn't really bother me much, so I'm just going to leave it as is, but if you guys want to change it, feel free to. So now that we have that, we need an aspect of danger in our game, because right now all we do is just run around, and there's no way for our character to die. So, how we're going to do that? First off, we're going to go back to our tile map. We're going to do our tile set, and we are going to, first off, we need to find out where our spikes are. And it looks like they're going to be in here, so they're going to be under our miscellaneous sprites. Scroll down until you see spikes, PNG. Drag that in. Nice. Alright, now we have our spikes. So we can go to our tile map, and we can press spikes. Now, as you see, they're upside down. They're meant to be on the ceiling. I'm not going to use them for that. You're just going to press the rotate button twice here. Pretty easy. So, literally just going to draw in some spikes. Perfect. Alright, there we go. We have some spikes. Pretty simple. You know, you can add them pretty much wherever you want. Does not really matter. You know, if we want to add some spikes on a platformer too, we can do that. Or, you know, like right here. So, there's the spikes. Now, you're probably wondering how they're going to kill you. Right now, they're just another tile set. So, we have not added collisions to them through here, and we're not going to. Okay, we do not want our character to just collide with them normally. So, instead, what we're going to do, make sure to save your game. We're going to go up here, and we're going to create a new scene. So, this scene is going to be a static body 2D. Sorry, no it's not. It's not going to be a static body 2D. It's going to be an area 2D. That is my fault. I'm going to create an area 2D. Because area 2Ds are good for detection. Okay? It's literally, as it says, it's an area, and it detects if bodies can enter it. So, we're going to create an area 2D, and all we're going to add to it is a timer. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to add our script. Actually, no, sorry. Let's rename this first and save it. We're going to name this our kill zone. So this is going to be our player kill zone. So now we can save said scene into our scenes folder. Save. Now we're going to create a script for our kill zone. Create. So this is an empty script. What we're going to do here, this is pretty easy. We're just going to delete this. We don't need any of this right now. So first off, we need to make a reference to our timer. So like I showed earlier, we did the $sign. Another way to do that is to just straight up add it in as a variable. So we can grab this, and what you do is press Control and then drop it in. So pick it up, press Control, drop it. So this creates a variable. So when we type timer, it references our timer node. So we don't have to type the $sign and stuff, and it just puts it in like this, and it makes it easier to understand. So now we can come down here, and we're going to need to make sure we have our timer selected. Come here near our inspector and click node. So these are signals. So we need to send a signal to. We need to send a signal from our kill zone. Sorry, make sure we're on our kill zone, not our timer right now. And we need body entered. That's the signal we need to send. So what this does is when a physics body 2D, like our player is a physics body, enters this area 2D, it's going to send a signal. It detects it. So we're going to double click this and press connect. So now we have our function on body entered. And right now it just says pass. Pass means it does nothing. So when a body enters our area 2D, nothing happens. We don't want that. So first off, we don't want this kill zone to interact with any other collisions except for our player. So we want to make sure it only detects player. So how we're going to do that? We're going to put if body.name equals and then player. Oh my god. Player. So we have our player scene named player. So obviously it detects it as just player. So this shows that if the body that enters is named player, then whatever we tell it to do, it's going to do. So don't forget our colon here. And then first off, we're just going to print you died. That's all we're going to do for now. So we're going to have that in there. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to start our timer. Timer.start. And then make sure to include this, that way it actually starts the timer. And now we're going to put body. Now we want it to make it play our death animation. So we're going to put body.play and then death animation. Now, this currently does not mean anything right now. What this is referencing is, as you see, on body entered, body. So we're saying, okay, we're going to take this body and then we want it to play death animation. This is a function. We want it to call this function. Thing is, when we go to our player, This is not a function here. We do not have the play death animation function. So that is what we are going to do right now. So we're going to come over here, give it some space, and we're going to add this function. So function play death animation, and add our colon. And then we're going to make it so it detects if our character is dead. So is dead is going to equal true. And now we, 1 minute. I just had a quick interruption. So we're gonna put is dead equals true, and then we're gonna play our animated. Oh, sorry. We're gonna play our death animation. So animated sprite 2D dot play. Why are we in caps? That's my fault. Dot play, and then we're going to go to our death. So as you see here, it's giving us an error. Is dead is not declared in a current scope. We haven't done that yet. It's fine. So we're just gonna add a variable is dead equals false. So this is just saying that our character is not dead from the start. Our character is only considered dead when this function is triggered. This function is triggered when our body enters the kill zone. So let's just save this real quick. This should be all we need for the kill zone. Actually, no, sorry. My fault. We're forgetting the timer. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go to our timer node, and under our timer signals, we're going to press timeout. So we're going to connect this signal. So this is whenever the timer finishes. So the timer gets started right here. When our body enters the kill zone, it starts the timer. And then this is when the timer goes off. So all we're going to do here is just get tree, and then dot reload our current scene. So all this does is essentially just resets everything. So when we hit the thing, it starts the timer. So this timer here under the inspector should be set to 1 second. Perfect. So then after that, so this goes off 1 second. So it plays our death animation. Our death animation is only a second long. So once that timer goes off, it completely resets our game. Now, we're not going to add a collision shape to this kill zone, only because we're going to want to use this kill zone later on, and it's going to have different shapes. So we're going to keep it like this. We're going to make sure we save, and then we're going to come back to our game. Now, we want all of these spikes to have a kill zone. So how are we going to do that? We are going to first add a node. Perfect. All right, we're going to add a node. This node is just going to be named kill zones. This is going to hold all of our kill zones, so it's not just like there's not fucking 10 of them here. So how we're going to do this is underneath this node, we're going to instance our kill zone scene. So we're going to take this kill zone scene. Where is it? It's going to be right here. So let's first do these spikes. This kill zone scene, we're going to add a collision shape to this kill zone. And we can add a rectangle. So all we're going to do, just line this up all the way here. So we don't want it to happen like instantly, you know, let it really connect first. So there we go. There's that. Now, all we're going to do, I think, can we add multiple collision shapes here is the question. To our kill zone. We can, in fact, add multiple collision shapes. So, where is this collision shape? Oh, am I tweaking shit? Hold up. So, this is going to be our second collision shape. And add another one. So, essentially, all you're going to do is you're just going to add a collision shape for all of your spikes. Alright, so I'm just going to finish doing that real quick. You guys can do it too, and I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, we're back. I just finished adding kill zones to everything here, all the spikes. Now, keep in mind, there is different ways to do this. We could have made a completely new scene and put the spikes in as a static body 2D and then added a kill zone to that and then individually place them in. There's multiple ways you can do it. I just chose to do it this way. That way we can reuse the same kill zone, don't have to make a new one every time we need to make something that injures the player. But if you guys want to do it like that, you can. Alright, let's test out the spikes and make sure they work. So, as we can see, it is working. We do die. The only issue is our death animation is not being played. As we see down here in the output, it is showing that we died every time we touch it. Now, the issue is, why are we not playing our death animation? So, let's go to our script. Under play death animation, and then our kill zone, play death animation. Let's make sure first that these are named the same. Play death animation, if dead equals true, animated sprite 2D dot play death. Alright. Let's also make sure that this is being called. So we're going to add just a print, and then we're going to have a print. We're going to have this print death, that way we can tell the difference. And now we're going to play. So this should show us if that is being called. It is being called. Alright. So as you can see, because it prints you died and death. So it only prints you death if this is called. So this is being called. So the question is, why is our animation not being called? So we go to our animated sprite. Death is spelled the same. It's just straight up not being called. So sometimes I notice that if you rename them, so really we're gonna name it death. Oh my god, death in all caps. The same here. Death. So I do know that sometimes if you rename them, it will somehow fix itself. So we could tell here that it did not. Alright. That is quite annoying. Why it's not playing our death animation. I'm going to figure out what's going on, and I'll be back to explain it as soon as I figure it out. Alright guys, I figured out the issue here. So the issue was that we were missing this line of code. So this says that if is dead equals true, we're going to return. What this does is this essentially overrides everything else. So the issue was that our character was still following this, if direction equals 0, play idle. Even though it sensed this was higher up in the sprite tree. Not even higher up in the sprite tree, it's just the fact that if the direction is 0, it wants to play idle no matter what. So we just simply put in a return here to trigger it, and now it should work. So as you can see, we come in here, we hit it. Return also disables character movement. So as we can see, I cannot move as soon as I hit that, and it just plays the death animation and resets. So that is death, pretty much finished. And I think that's the same with our player code here. Our player code is also completed, so we should not have to touch this again unless we're changing our speed and jump. Now, what do we want to do next? I think we're going to do coins next. We're going to do collectibles. So, we're going to come into our game. Okay, no, sorry. So, coins. What we're going to do here is we are going to make a new scene. We are going to make a area 2D. And then we're going to add an animated sprite 2D. And then we also need a collision shape. So, let's get our animated sprite in here. Animation, sprite frames, new sprite frames. Click on this, and it's going to bring us down here. We're going to open this up. Now, we're still on a character. We're going to come up here to path, and we're going to go back. So, I'm pretty sure it should be in miscellaneous. Here it is. Perfect. Coin animation strip. We're going to go 1 by, I think it's 6. Yes, perfect. 1 by 6. Add frames. I like the starting frame to be this. Oh, sorry, wait. Control Z, read that, my fault. So we can simply look at this. This is going to be our animation for our coin. It's pretty slow. I think I bumped it up to 12. Yeah, I feel like 12 looks good. It's up to you guys. So we're going to click this button here. This button, essentially what it does is right there, autoplay on load. So as soon as the game loads, this animation will play. Nothing has to trigger it. So now we can do our collision shape. We can add a circle, and I'm just going to make that our collision shape. Alright, now that we have that, we can start adding code to our coin. This is going to be pretty simple. Oh, right, sorry. We have to change the name. I always forget to do this. Change the name to coin. Now we can add our script. Make sure that this is going into our scripts folder. Perfect. And we can create. Now, what we're going to do is... Oh, delete these footnotes. What we're going to do here is we need a game manager. So, what a game manager is that's going to manage the label and the counting for our coins. So, to make a game manager, what we're going to do is we are going to come into our game scene, and we're going to add a node. Just a simple node, not a node TD, just a node. Now under this node, we are going to add a label. So this is going to be our score label. I'm going to rename this to game manager. Alright, so now that we have our game manager, what we're going to do is we need to add code for our game manager. So we're going to add code here, create, and essentially what we're going to do here is delete all of this. Well, first we're going to reference our label. So same thing, drag and then press Control and release. So now we have score label equals label. So variable score is going to equal 0 off rip. And then we're going to add a function to add coins, or add a point. So we're going to call this function add point. Alright, and now what this is going to do is it is just going to take our score and make it plus equal 1. And then it's going to go into our score label, and going to go to score label dot text, because our score label is a label. It has the dot text feature on it, and this is going to equal a string. This is numbers, and the string is going to print our score. And the score is going to be, so it's going to add score, and we want labels here. We just don't want a number, we want words. So we're going to score plus, and then here's the words we're going to have. Put a space here, that way there's a space between the number and the words, and we're just going to put coins. So it's going to essentially take this number, whatever our score is. Every time we enter a body, we'll do that in the coin in a minute. Every time we enter a body of the coin, it's going to print plus 1 to our score. And it's going to take our score label, and it's going to add that number. It's going to print that number, and then the word coins. So if we hit 3, it's going to put 3 coins. So we're going to go into our coin script now, and we can work on this. So first off, we need a reference to our game manager. So how we're going to do that is, we're going to come to coin. I'm going to simply take the game manager, same thing, drag it in. Now we have our game manager reference. So now we're going to do our function, we're going to do on body entered. We need to add a signal here. So this signal is going to be from our area 2D. So node body entered, we're going to connect. So this is going to be same thing as before when we made our kill zone. On body entered. So this area 2D is going to detect when our player enters the coin, and is going to register that to our game manager and add coins to our score. So again, we need to make sure it only detects the player. So if body dot name equals player, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Equals player. We are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take our game manager, and we are going to add a point. Add a point. Alright, so this is referencing the function in our game manager, add point. So we're directly referencing that and telling it what to do. We're telling it to trigger that function. And then all we're going to do is we are going to queue free. So queue free just means it essentially deletes itself. So as soon as this happens, it just deletes itself. No more coin after we pick it up. So now we can save. Make sure that our thing is saved into our scenes. Save. Alright, let's just close this. So all of our scripts, all of our scenes. Oh, sorry, that's weird. Our game manager and our kill zone actually got saved into our scenes folder. It's fine, easy fix, just drag and drop. Now, we're going to come into our game, and let's just add a few coins. We'll do it from here, scenes. We can directly drag these coins in. So we can just press Control D. What the hell? Control D. Yeah. Get a bunch of coins. I'm not placing them well right now. This is where I'm going to keep them. They're honestly just here to test that this works properly. First off, our label, where is that? That needs to come. We're going to do it right here for now. And we're just going to leave it there for now. Alright. We're going to start. Alright. Immediately, we have an issue. So, add point, null instance. So that means that this, it's saying add point is not real. So we need to figure out why it's saying that. So we're going to go to our game manager. We have the add point function right here. So why is it not able to call? Let me figure this out, and I'll get back to you when I figure it out. Alright guys, we figured out the issue. It wasn't detecting the game manager properly. All we had to do is you're gonna click on game manager. You're gonna come down here, and this should press. This should say access as unique name, and you're just gonna press that, and then you're gonna re-input it in here. Make sure it looks exactly like this with the quotation marks and the percent sign. Once you do that, it accesses it right. It just had an issue finding it originally, but when we put access as unique name, it fixes itself. So now, as you see, when we start the game, when we add the coins, it shows up there that it counts how many coins we have, and it queue frees the coins when we pick them up. So that's going to be coins done. Now all there is left to do really for coins is just scatter them about the game. I usually put the label at the end, so once you get to the end of the game, you can see like how many coins you really picked up. I might make a future tutorial about UI and just adding them to your screen along with health and stuff like that, but that's a bit more complex for this tutorial, so we're not going to add that this time, but maybe in a future tutorial. So for now, I'm just going to pretty much spread the coins out throughout the map, and then I'll see you when I'm done. Alright, we're back, and we simply just spread the coins out throughout the game, so it kind of shows you where you want to go, forces you to explore more dangerous areas. So as you can see, everything's working nice. I do feel like the movement speed, and mainly just the movement speed, is too high. So I'm going to go and edit mine to, I think I want it at 110 for now, just to slow things down a bit. I feel like that's a lot better. It feels a lot smoother and a lot nicer. So as you see here, once you get to the end, it shows you how many coins you have. Next, I think we're going to do enemies. So that's going to be the next order of business. Alright, now it's time to work on our enemy. This is going to be the most complex part of this tutorial, so you might not fully understand everything that's going on, and I'm sorry for that, but just try to follow along as best you can. I'm going to try and explain it as best I can, but this is going to be the hardest part so far, but it shouldn't be too bad. So first what we're going to do is we're going to use a character body 2D for our enemy. So we're going to use the mushroom, so we're going to literally just name this mushroom. Alright, mushroom. Wow, I cannot type today. Alright, mushroom. So what we're going to do, start out, same thing, animated body 2D, or animated sprite 2D, and our collision shape. Now, animated sprite 2D, animation, sprite frames, new sprite frames, click on it again to get here. What we're going to do is going to get out of here, and we're going to go to our enemy sprite, mushroom. So this here is our idle. It's a little bit goofy. I actually don't like the two middle frames, so I don't actually use those for what we're going to do. So I pick these right here. Add these frames. This is going to be our idle animation. So we're going to put it to about 6 frames. There we go. Alright, and we're going to name this idle. Alright, now let's get its run animation. Oh, don't know why I did that. Our run animation right here, our walk. It's going to be 1/8. So here we have our running animation. It's pretty slow. I think we're going to change it to 16 frames per second. It's a bit fast, maybe 14 and 12. Again, it's all on preference. I'm going to do 12. I think it looks good. Next up, we're going to do our death animation. So I'm going to come in here, and it's just going to be this. Actually, no, I didn't like, sorry, no, we're not going to use this one. We're going to do this one. Or are we? Okay, so what we're going to do here is, neither of these, sorry, I forgot about this part. Neither of these are great on their own. So I think what we're going to do, add those frames. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in here. And we do like a combination of these three. So we start with this one now and add those frames. So this is the first frame, this is the second frame. So this is what happens when the mushroom dies. It gets hit and dies. Alright. So it's 6 frames per second. We can make it 6. Probably gonna make it 6 again. There we go. Alright. Now that we have our animations, I think that's all we're gonna need for animations. It is. Make sure that idle is set to play on auto load. And now we got a bit to do. First off, collision shape. Let's adjust our mushroom first. So this collision shape here, our mushroom's going to be built a little bit weird, and I'm sorry for that. We need to make this collision shape a rectangle. Alright, so we're going to do this. First off, let's get its animation to, let's get, like, its standing up animation, please. Yeah, good enough. Alright. Wait. Yeah, I don't care. Alright, so we're going to take this. This is going to be its base collision shape. It's not going to be hitting the floor, and you will see why. It's going to be pretty small, to be honest with you. Alright, so we have that. And then what we have is we need to add a timer. So we add a timer, create, and now we need some raycasts. So what we want this mushroom to do exactly is we want it to wander around. We want to pick a random direction, wander there, pause, pick a new direction, and go that way. And that's what we want to do movement-wise. We want it to ignore wall. We want it to see walls and walk away from them. Don't run into them. Same thing with ledges, so we don't want it walking off of a ledge. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to use raycasts. Now, technically, you could just design your map so that it doesn't go near ledges, so it only goes near walls. But then you're not really solving the problem. You're just creating a temporary solution. And I want to make this enemy like work well and nicely, and it's not that complicated. So what we're going to do is we need something called a raycast. So what this does is this detects something. So we're going to take this, shrink it down, and there is our first raycast. This is going to be our raycast. I'm going to name it left. Raycast left. Now we're going to just add another one. This is going to be our raycast right. If it lets me select. It's not. Okay, great. This is going to be our raycast left. Or right, sorry. Alright, now we need to add our footings. And we need the floor ones to detect if it's going to walk off a cliff. So we only need two more. So this is going to be raycast floor left. So underscore floor, oh my god, left. Now this one is going to be handled a bit differently. We're going to take it, we're going to put it about here. I'm going to shrink it down to that. Now, I'm going to take it, I'm going to try and line it up about the same with the other one. So, what these do is these are going to detect if there is ground underneath it. So if these detect collision, which is in the ground, then it's okay. But the second that this thing walks near a ledge, this one right here is going to detect there's nothing underneath it, and it's going to say stop, and then it's going to pick a new direction and go the other way. Same thing with these ones. These ones are going to detect if there is a wall, if it's hitting a wall, and then it's going to go a different direction. So those are raycasts. Now we need a couple more things. We're going to need, first off, our kill zone needs to be put in here so our player can die. So how we're going to do this is similar to everything else. We're going to add a collision shape 2D and a rectangle. Now this rectangle is not going to encompass the mushroom fully. It's going to hit here. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. So essentially, if our player comes in contact with this collision box, which our player's collision is near the bottom of it too, so the second it gets to this point of the mushroom, it will die. But how we're going to kill the mushroom is going to be similar to Mario, where you jump on the Goomba. So you're literally going to jump on its head, and that should kill it. Now, we don't want to die when we jump on the head, so that's why the collision shape is down here. And so you only die when you hit it from the side. So when you walk into this enemy, you will die. So now we need to add a kill zone for our mushroom. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to instance another kill zone. Or are we? Hold up. Do I want to instance another kill zone? I don't think so, no. So we're just going to add a new area 2D. Here, and we're going to name this to our mushroom. Why do I keep doing twice? Mushroom. And then kill zone. So this is our mushroom's kill zone. Now we're going to need a collision shape for it too. And this one is going to be on our mushroom's head. Perfect, right there. So now when we jump on the mushroom's head, so we want to make it so this is not, we want to make this kill zone bigger than this one, lengthwise, because we want to be able to walk into this and hit this one, but not hit this one. So, yeah, so there's that. I think we're going to take these ray casts. So ray cast for right and move it out just a teensy bit. I think that's good. Alright. I think we should only need one more thing for the mushroom, and that's going to be a death timer. Wow. Okay, sorry, did not mean to type that. That's what we're going to name it afterward. So this is going to be our death timer. This is our mushroom's death timer. So what this is going to do is when the mushroom dies, it's going to play its animation and then die right as soon as the animation's over. This timer is what's going to do that. Same thing with the player's death timer, where the player dies, plays the animation, and then it restarts itself. So I think this is all we're going to need to build it. Now we need to add a script. So we're going to come in here, make sure that it goes into our scripts folder. It is. And we don't want this. We just want the default. And now we can start scripting it. Alright. This is going to be a little bit of a doozy. We're just going to delete this. We're going to start out, we need references to pretty much everything. So this we need a reference to, our animated sprite. We're just going to do this as sprite. Next we're going to need our variable for speed is going to equal 50. Now we're going to need our walk time. So variable walk time. And this is going to equal 1.5 seconds. Now we're going to do another variable for our pause time. And this is going to equal 1 second. I think we might end up changing these later, depending on how we feel. So now we're going to add a variable for our raycast floors. So raycast floor right, raycast floor, sorry, that was left and right. And then we need a death timer. So we'll add that in. So there's that. Now we need our next variable. Our variable direction is going to equal 0. Another variable is walking is going to equal true. Now we need, oh, why did it do that? My fault. Our next variable is going to be waiting after reverse. So what's going to happen here is when our character looks at a wall, they are going to wait a second, and then they're going to reverse and go the other direction. So waiting after, ooh, sorry about that, reverse. So waiting after reverse is going to equal false, basically, base. Oh my god. Now we're going to add in our timer. And then we're going to add in our raycast left and right. And I think that's all of our variables that we need for this. It should be. Now we can get into this. So under function ready, so I keep button matching my caps lock. Under function ready, we're going to have, first off, randomize. We're going to randomize. So this is going to pick, it literally, it is what it sounds like. I'm going to explain what randomize means. It's just going to pick a random area. And then we are going to start the function start wandering. We're going to call this function. So we don't have start wandering as a function quite yet. We'll do that in a minute. Next up, what we need is our function physics process delta. But make sure we have that in there. So we have function physics process delta. If is walking, we need to velocity dot x is going to equal our direction. I'm trying to go this slow for you guys. Direction, and then we're going to multiply that by speed. Alright, and then we can, oh my god. And that's when we can also call move and slide, like I showed you guys earlier. Alright. Now we need an if function. So if our sprite, or an if statement, sorry, sprite.animation. So if sprite.animation, so it is not, so the exclamation point is a not. So that's just another way of saying no or not. So if it's not equaling run, then we want our sprite to play run. So sprite.play run. So this is just saying, this is under if walking. So if we are walking, this is just the speed, move and slide. And then if our sprite is not playing run, then we want to make sure that it is playing run. So if it's not currently playing run, we just want to make sure it is. Alright, next we can come down here to our sprite. So sprite.flip h if our direction is less than 0. So this is again just flipping our sprite to face whatever direction we are facing. Now we're going to get into our wall detection. So if direction equals -1 and raycast left dot is colliding, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to end that parenthesis there, and we're going to go into an or statement. Or direction equals 1 and raycast, so I need right, and raycast right, stop and reverse, right, and raycast right, so it's the same thing here, it's going to be weird, dot is colliding, we are going to put a colon, enter, and now we come back here, and what we need here is to stop and reverse. Sorry, it's fucking me up, I can see. Now we need our stop and reverse function to be called. Did I not make this function already? I think I did. Variable, right? Stop and reverse is not fun. Alright, sorry. We'll put that in a bit. I'm pretty sure we just need that as a function. It is, yeah, it's just going to be a function later on. Whew, so it's not, we don't need to put it in right now. Alright, so now we need to do essentially the same thing here. We're going to do, so else if direction equals -1 and not. So we need a not here. So before, we need a raycast for left. So before, here we have, if it's colliding in this direction, then we want to stop and reverse. So this is the wall one. So if it does detect a wall, then we want it to turn around. But this is the floor one. So this detects when it's on the floor. So when it detects that there's no floor, so when we are not colliding, so not colliding, that's when we want to also stop and reverse. So now we do essentially the same thing. Or direction equals 1 and not raycast right dot is colliding. This is where we add a colon. Let me come in here, and I think we gotta call the stop and reverse function again. Stop and reverse. Perfect. All right. Again, we haven't made the stop and reverse function yet. We'll get to that in a bit. All right. So now we're gonna come back here. We're gonna go else. Under else, we need velocity. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Do not forget the colon. It's gonna yell at you. We need our velocity dot x to equal 0. Move and slide is gonna be called here also. And now we can come down. Oh, I was doing that. So now if sprite dot animation, so if sprite dot animation is not playing our idle, we want it to play idle. So sprite dot animation. Oh no, sorry. Sprite play. Sorry, play, and then that's what we call our idle. So if we're not playing our idle here, like it says right here, else. So if this is not happening, if our velocity is 0 and our character is not moving, then we should be playing idle. But if we're not, it's just calling the play idle. So now, where do we go? Now we can get into our next function, which is going to be our start wandering function. So function start wandering. All right. Function start wandering. So direction is going to equal. We're going to use brackets here. -1 and 1 dot pick random. So it's going to pick a random direction, either -1 or 1, so left or right. And then we're going to set is walking equals true. So we're going to pick a random direction, set is walking to true, and we're going to set waiting after reverse to false, because we're walking now, we're not waiting for a reverse. And now we are going to add our timer dot start, and this is going to be walk time. Timer dot start, walk time. Perfect. All right. Now we are going to come to our timer and node, and we are going to add a timeout signal. So we come here, and we are going to work on this. So if is wall walking. Why do I keep button mashing my caps? So if is walking, what do we want it to do? We want, alright, yeah. So we want is walking to equal false. So if we are walking, we want it to equal false now because the timer just ended. So now the timer has ended, we are going to set our velocity dot x is going to equal 0. We don't want to move anymore. And then we want our sprite dot play our idle. So sprite dot play idle. And now we need our timer to start again. So timer dot start. And this is going to be our pause time. So timer dot start, pause time. Next, we're going to have an else if statement. So else if waiting after reverse. So we do here. So else if waiting after reverse is walking equals true. And then what do we want to do from here? We want waiting after reverse to equal false. So after waiting after reverse, we set is walking to true, and then we set waiting after reverse to false again. So waiting after reverse equals false. Perfect. Alright, and now we need our timer dot start, and this is going to start our walk time again. So we essentially just created, walk time. We essentially just created our loop here. Now we pretty much, I think we just need to add a couple more things. We need to add our stop and reverse, and then our kill zone stuff. So else, we need to start wandering. Start wandering. Perfect. Alright. So that's what happens when our timer goes off. Now we're going to come down here, and we need our function for stop and reverse. So function stop and reverse. Stop and reverse. Alright. So, what am I doing? Function stop and reverse. So what we want here is walking is going to equal false. So we do not want to walk. We want to stop and reverse. Why does it keep putting death timer? Stop and reverse. Alright, so then that means we need to set our velocity dot x to equal 0. Meaning our character's not going to move anymore. Now we're going to set our sprite dot play. We want our idle animation to play because our character's deciding where to go, they're not moving. And now we're going to set our direction times equal 1. Times equal 1. Oh, sorry, negative 1. Alright, now we're going to put waiting after reverse is going to equal true. Because this is the reverse, and then we have waiting after reverse. And now we need our timer dot start. So timer dot start, and this is going to be our pause time. And I think that's all we need for our stop and reverse function. So now we can work on our kill zone, which we don't have much left to do, thankfully. We are almost done with the mushroom. So what we're going to do here is we need a on body entered. So our mushroom kill zone, we need to add a signal. So we need body entered. Perfect. So on mushroom body entered, on mushroom kill zone body entered. So this is going to be pretty much the same as our kill zone for our player. This is just a kill zone for our mushroom, essentially. So again, we only want it to detect our player. We only want it to die if the player hits this kill zone. So if body dot name equals player, equals player. If body dot name equals player, what are we going to do? We are going to call our die function. We don't quite yet have a die function, but that's okay because that's what we're doing right now. So function die. Alright. So this is our death function. What are we going to do here? So first off, we want to play our death animation. So sprite dot play and then death. Alright, so we're going to play our death animation. And now we need to freeze our mushroom. So we don't want him to move during this death animation. As soon as he dies, we don't want there to be a chance that he just starts walking away as he dies. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set, or if he's moving while you kill him, we want it to stop moving. So we are going to set our physics process. So set physics process false. So this essentially means that all of his physics are gone. This slime, or this mushroom will not move anymore. So now we're going to set velocity is going to equal vector 2.0. Alright, now we need to, alright, why is it doing this? .0. Sorry, this needs to be in all caps, by the way. 0. That's what's not working. Alright, now what are we going to do? Vector 2, did I do something wrong? Oh yeah, sorry. Vector needs to have a capital V. Okay, what the hell? Capital V. Yeah, see, now it's green. Now it's registering. Alright, so now we need our death timer to start. So death timer dot start, and then make sure you keep that in there. If you don't have these two parentheses, it will not start the timer. Just keep that in mind. And now I think all we only need one more thing. We're done with this. We just need our function death timer timeout. We just need what happens when our timer goes out. So we need to instance that. So death timer timeout. So connect. So when this timer times out, what do we want it to do? Well, what we want to do is queue free. So we're just going to queue free. That's it. Slime's going to go away. And that should be our entire script for our mushroom. I know it was a bit complex. I hope me explaining it as we went along helped you guys understand what's happening here. It is a bit complex. I may make another video making more enemies with this pack and explain the code a bit more in depth. But for now, this is what we have. Let's make sure it works now. So we are going to take... Okay, so we're going to organize that in a minute. We're just going to first instance... Oh, sorry, we have not saved our mushroom. That is not good. Save our mushroom. Perfect. Alright, now we're going to come to our game, and we are going to instance a mushroom. Open. I'm going to take this guy, and we are going to put him right here. And now we're going to press play. And we're just going to watch. So, as you can see, he stops once he hits the edge. He's going to walk around. He's going to randomly stop. He's got a kind of small area here. It's going to look... Yep, see, he's going to pick a random direction. Now, if he touches us, we die. Now, it did actually end up killing him, so that's an easy fix. So there we go. When we jump on him, it kills him. So we don't want him to die when I die. So it looks like this collision box here needs to be bigger, and this one needs to be slightly smaller. So we're going to try that. That should work, hopefully. Yep, as we see now, he can kill us, and we just don't kill him immediately. There we go. So now you have working enemies that can kill your player, and that the player can kill. So that we're pretty much almost done. We're just going to do some organization stuff here. First off, all these coins, this sucks. We're just going to add a node for organization. We're going to name this coin. Name this coins. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to click U. And we're going to just shift click all of these coins and drag them into here. And we can just close this. So now we have mushroom. You can make another folder to hold enemies. We're going to just control D. Our mushroom. Oh, sorry. Never mind. We'll just drag a couple in. What do we want them? Probably keep one down here. And we'll probably add one right here. Alright, so now we have a couple enemies. You know, you can even put one on the platforms. To add, like, it'll be pretty hard to kill him. So now we have our enemies. I know the world looks kind of bare right now, so I'm not going to do anything with this, but you can go into your art, platformer, under miscellaneous. There's a lot of stuff. Like, you can add an arrow plate here, a little sign. Now we can come in here and go to our tile map and see. Now we can add, like, arrow signs around the map to give it more life. You know, there's more stuff in here you can add. Okay. Like, where was it? This vase. You know, you can have the vase in there, too. Come in tile map, you know, now you got some decoration to put around the map. So there you go. You can decorate this however you want. You can design this however you want. You can expand so much with just what I've shown you in this video. But this is going to be the end of the video. We have finished. So if you've made it this far and you followed along perfectly, congratulations. You have now made your first fully working Godot game. So congratulations. It's a pretty big step. Go ahead. Feel free to tweak all the scripts as much as you want if you find stuff online. There's plenty of tutorials all over the place that you can find to do Godot. I'll probably start making more. I hope you enjoyed, and comment down below if you want to see me add more to this and what you want. So thank you guys for watching.